The 1989 World Alpine Ski Championships from Vail and Beaver Creek, Colorado.
Wouldn't happen without him.
He took a risk.
I feel like the sun, I feel like the rain.
He was clearly the impetus.
Just found reason for living again.
If it wasn't for George,
It was all because of George.
Cause what I've been dreaming, I know that it's real. I know there's just no change in the way I feel.
George embraced the '89 World Championships and knew that would put Vail on the map internationally.
I feel like I just found reason for being alive.
We were overwhelmed by the success in 1989, but I strongly predict that we will do even better in 1999.
This 52 World Championships have been entrusted to Vail.
he brought the World Championships to Vail twice. Does he deserve a place in the Hall of Fame? Of course.
George was a great friend of the ski business. He was always present.
It takes the vision and leadership of a person like George.
You know, I used to think George was made of springs and rubber bands because he had so much passion for everything he did.
His energy sets him apart because he's a go-getter. He knew what he wanted and he got it.
There was some trepidation in the family because there was a period of time where we were involved in the purchasing of Vail, and there was another group, and you know, there was a period of time where we backed off from Vail, where I really didn't think that we were going to get Vail, and thanks to my mother and my brothers for really standing up and saying that they wanted to be a part of Vail and that they wanted my dad to go to Vail and to make Vail a better place.
I think what I noticed that he really brought to the industry was a really fresh perspective. George really recognizes the significance of the tie with the community.
He was out there skiing on a daily basis. He spent time with the guests, with his staff, and I think because of that, he became Mr. Vail.
His visibility was something no one expected. I mean, no one thought that the chairman of the board of Vail Associates would be standing in the lift line with you. I came to know George first when he brought Dr. Stedman here as an orthopedic surgeon and started the Stedman Clinic. Without George, we would not have that clinic, which now has been known all over the world.
In 1986, he formed the opinion we should be in Vail. And it took him 3.5 years to come up with a plan that worked well enough for us that we came to Vail, but that's his strength. He never wavered, he never backed off, and 3.5 years later we were here. As a patient, he was equally as good as in the other areas of his life. He came through as someone who was dedicated to recovery, followed all the rules in recovery, and seemed to recover every time he had a problem.
I first moved to Colorado in 1984 after 1 year of college, and the first job that I got was on the grounds crew at Beaver Creek Golf Course. And at that time, George, he was a regular at the golf course. And the thing that I always appreciated was that he really took a personal interest in the employees.
George introduced the idea of everybody wearing a name tag with their first name on it in their hometown. Also, I think for the fact that George worked like everybody else, and he dressed up as Santa Claus on Christmas Day, and the employees loved him.
The detachable quad was not around until we had George Gillett to figure out a way to pay for it and to make us believe in ourselves that it would really work.
During my time in the 90s, when George took control, you could really see the changes at Vail.
I arrived in Vail in 1989, and at that point he was halfway through his transformation, putting a new high-speed quad in every year. Vail was just amazing. I could not believe how quick you could get from the bottom to the top, all over that mountain. It was an instructor's dream.
George was one of the top entrepreneurs that the ski industry has ever known.
I think what George does is he really drives people to go beyond what they think they can do. And Vail's always been the flagship, and certainly was then and still is.
He put his heart and soul into Vail. I mean, he really, he deep down cared.
My father is a truly energetic, passionate man. I think he knows how to love.
I can't think of another person who has meant more to the ski industry in the last 20 years than George Gillett.
My only disappointment is I can't be here this evening to personally congratulate you. But certainly to you and all of the Gillett family, congratulations and an honor well deserved.
George, you're a funny guy, and your handicap is a little high, I think. We need to work on that.
It's just a bottle of champagne. You open it up and there are bottles come up. And that's George.